Home Sweet Home. I am your presenter, Mary Henry. Today on Home Sweet Home, I will be presenting to you a young thief man from Benue State. Is Philip Junior Teso Shinku Azu. He was born in May and in Wisconsin in the USA. But his earlier part of his life as a teenager, he left Nigeria, the shores of Nigeria, most precisely high level, to the United States of America. Don't go away. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back. I told you earlier we'll be meeting our own brother, King. I prefer to call him King Philip Junior Teso Shinku. You're welcome to the
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay. Well, before we go, I was actually talking to our audience out there, and I was hoping you get to tell them who you truly are and why you have 4 names instead of 3 names and the rest of the thing. So, Teso, over to you.
Oh, thank you. Basically, my name is Teso Shinku Azu. Of course, my middle name is Philip Jr. My late father was Philip Sr., and I am Philip Jr., of course. That kind of went with that.
Okay.
So that's how it came about, those names. The rest are Shinku and Azu are my grandfather and great-grandfather.
Okay.
Yeah, so those are just surnames and stuff like that. As far as my performing or stage names, usually King Teso.
Okay.
Some do go by the King or whatever, but yes, I do music, I sing, I write. I'm also into screenwriting. I'm kind of like a jack of all trades,
Okay.
but I do love music and I do love the arts in terms of film and comedy, stuff like that.
Yeah, we'll be getting a little, if you wouldn't mind, a little of your comedy and something. You will have to tell us something at least to spur
Oh
the
my
moment
God.
for us out here.
I'm into stand-up comedy, but
It's okay. King Teso, I think you prefer that to.
King Teso is fine. Teso is fine.
Okay.
Either one.
Okay, but you are actually in Wisconsin in the United States. Let's get to know how you migrated from here to.
I was originally born in the States. Some time ago. It was in Wisconsin.
Okay.
Okay, in Wisconsin, and then when I was a year old, my parents brought me back to Nigeria, and I grew up here in Nigeria, right here in Benue State. I grew up for a while here, went to school, BSU, and then in 2003, I went back to the States. And I've been there ever since. So, but as far as where I live currently in the States, it's Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. And then sometimes I'm in Texas. Yes.
So you happen to do the acting, the script writing, and everything over there.
Yes.
Okay. So let's take it from here. In the sometime in the early 90s, you had a team of Anyaka Ato, and could you just tell us how they came about making that team of yours and what it entails?
All right. So back in the 90s, of course, this is way back in my primary school days.
Yeah.
This is the conception of my love for the arts and acting and stuff like that. So back then, it was primary school.
Okay.
I went to Macaulay International School.
Okay.
And our headmistress, then our principal then, I think NTA was looking for some talent, young talent for a feature film, a national film or something that was going on at the moment. And the principal came into our class, over there making noise, while in the wait time. And she picked me, she picked I think Anyaka Ato, and probably a couple of other people I can't recollect.
Okay.
And it just took us to NTA, Macaulay at the time. And then we did this movie called The Cake. He was a big national thing at that moment, at that time, but I don't think it ever got far off the ground in terms of being televised.
Okay.
But that's how that happened. And then from that, my first pay from that was 150 naira. And I was very happy because to me, it was like, I'm a primary school guy. So I was like, okay, it's like this thing, I must have done well to earn something. So I started loving that. I started kind of creating more stuff on my own and like that. And then there was this other guy that was picked from another school called Tewe Malu.
Okay.
We're two good friends till today, and we'll continue. He's also into the arts and into film and documentaries and stuff like that. And so we'll continue from there. That's how that happened.
Okay. So you had that experience and then you took it up from there.
Yes.
Okay. So what really before that experience did you really have a thing with the acting, the music, or something? Because you said your first time you were in the class and it was actually noise making that took you guys
Yes.
from there to where you are now. So
yeah. So I would consider myself like a social person.
okay.
I think to the best of my ability, I try to kind of like make it real lively wherever I go. I think. I may be wrong. I may just be being boastful of myself, but I think I'm a bit of that kind of a person.
Okay.
So when I was younger in primary school, before then, we used to organize parties and stuff like that. Kids, of course, organize little parties, and I'll be the one behind. Let's do DJ, let's do this. So no, that love for being social and being interacting on a social level, people had always been there.
Okay, the love for being entertained.
Yes, and miming to songs and stuff like that. So I guess I just needed the right platform opportunity for that to jump out, and it did. Yeah.
So the King,
Yes,
which happens to be your stage name, or do we call it nickname?
it's just my stage name,
Okay.
King Teso.
Okay.
Just because I can.
So why do you go about it? Why is it because you're on the bulky side that you're?
Not necessarily because I was not always this bulky, but I
Okay.
think it's more of just I felt like true story. I used to go by on the music side. I used to go by the name Exile. And then I started from here in BSU, performing Exile. Sometimes because of my son, they'll call me Shele Shele. And then from Exile, when I moved back to the States, my mother like, I don't like that name. That Exile, I don't like it. So when my mother said, I was like, okay, maybe, because she felt like it had a negative connotation to it. So I was like, okay, how can I kind of like brand myself better without giving a negative connotation? I was like, okay, King.
Okay.
And let me use my real name, King Teso.
Okay.
So instead of being an exile or being like I'm an outcast or something, let me call myself King.
Okay.
So I started going by King Teso.
That's actually very
Yeah.
interesting, and we hope that that King keeps taking you to greater heights.
Thank you.
all
Amen.
that. Okay, so the journey on the entertainment, your entertainment journey, how far are you in it now?
I would say my journey in the entertainment business, for me, I look at it more like it's not an event. It's more of it's going to be a lifetime thing of a lifetime.
Okay.
So no matter what I've done or maybe achieved in the past, I know I like creating humor, making people laugh, and making someone's day brighter. So I've done a few projects with a few people like Shima Gena. I had this thing we created back when I was in the States. We created some called The Adventures of Quentin.
Okay.
We co-created that. We have a few of them on YouTube, episodes on YouTube. And then I've created other little projects here and there that I wouldn't say they're on a big platform or anything, but they're out there anyways.
Okay, so
Social media.
Okay, so have there been any government support or something as regards your entertainment journey?
No, ma'am. Everything has been basically out of pocket
Okay.
and just out of my own volition and everything. Nothing, no support from the government.
Okay. Well, viewer, we've been talking to King Teso, and he has been telling us a lot about his life, his upbringing, how he got into the entertainment business, and how far he has been in that entertainment business. Don't go away. We'll be right back after after this break. Welcome back. We have been having a great time with King Tesu on entertainment, and he has told us a lot about the things that he has been doing. Of course, he has not had enough support, or probably maybe he is not known to have had that support from the government, either here in Nigeria or in the United States where he is. Well, you know, he's back home for now. Are you visiting, or you just going to leave us in a bit?
I'm visiting. I'll be leaving you guys in a bit.
Oh,
I'll be back.
Okay, you heard it.
Hopefully.
He said he's actually visiting, and we've had a lot that he is going to be telling us about. Well, you will agree with me, Teso, that even in today, some Nigerian parents will not agree to that entertainment business, that the children go on stage and get to do whatever it is that you're doing. So tell me about your childhood and the doubts as a child, and still you doubled as a child now.
Yes.
So we should know how you managed to inculcate that with your parents and with your studies and all that, and you're still moving.
Well, thank you for that. So one thing is, my late father was, as much as he was a disciplinarian, he also was into the arts. He encouraged it, and as long as that didn't travel with your education, he was okay with it.
Okay.
My father, I would say, was more of like a free spirit, so I kind of like got a little bit of that from him. So when he saw the artistic aspect of me coming out, I don't think he was really surprised. So that kind of like came in natural for me. He allowed me a little room to be able to, you know. And then I partly grew up with my auntie as well.
Okay.
She was not necessarily literate, but she was very, very open-minded, and she hammered on education.
Yeah.
God rest her soul. She hammered on education, but she allowed me to kind of like just free my mind.
Okay.
You know, not in a formal way, but she just let me just kind of free my mind and do the things that I needed to do. So when I went to do the first thing with NTA, and when my father saw that, you know, the guys that were, you know, that took me were taking care of me, and I was not being wayward and doing you, okay, that's fine, you can continue. And that's kind of how I continued in that aspect all the way up. I've always been a free spirit.
Where do you get this guidance? Because you just got up and met with some friends, and then you kicked off from there.
Yes.
So for me, or for any other person out there who would want to begin, or who would want the kid to begin, how do we go about it?
First, I would say that before your child, or before you let your child go into, make sure it's what they really are cut out for.
Okay.
Because sometimes we want things, but those things may not really be for us. So for first and foremost, make sure that that child is cut out for that kind of stuff. And if they really are, then you should encourage them by way of making sure they guide them, so that they're not, there's a balance between, of course, education and whatever it is they do, and whatever it is they know how to naturally do. Because I personally believe that, and this is just my personal take, that the talent of a man will always make a way for him or her, you know. So that's just my take.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I must tell you for free that entertainment is there to improve people's
Absolutely.
quality of life.
Absolutely.
And I want to believe you take home something at the end of the show.
Yes.
So I believe that if that is going to happen, what's the understanding between your mother tongue and you must have an understanding to be able to bring in the mother tongue or something, or try to control it. Let's hear you talk about that aspect of
So
entertainment.
as far as mother tongue, most of my skits or my comedies, of course, are in TIV. TIV is my mother tongue. I love it so much. I think sometimes, and not to sound cocky, but sometimes I feel like the whole world should be speaking Tiv. I learned how to speak Tiv from a very young age. It was always around me. I was always around it. Like I mentioned earlier, my auntie who passed years ago, I grew up partly with her, and she didn't go to school. So sometimes she would get letters from people and they were in Tiv, and I'll have to read them out to her.
Okay.
So that's how I learned how to read and write in Tiv.
Okay.
I'll have to read out those letters to her, and then sometimes kind of like learn how to write a little bit in Tiv. And so I cultivated that habit of writing and loving Tiv language at a very early age. And then she owned a bar, those bars, like a joint for drinking and pepper soup and all those things. So I used to always hear a lot of the Tibu Sanzaka from people, older people coming around talking, and so I'll pick up on things, like a sponge. You absorb a lot of things from the older people, in Tiv, and then those things kind of stuck, I don't know if that was the right environment for a child, but hey, I'm grateful for it.
Okay. I would actually want to leverage on that now because I was thinking you may have forgotten the mother tongue and stuff like that, but thank God you've mentioned it and you've, like a sponge, soaked in a lot of things.
Yes.
Now, would you be able to tell us that you can still sing, quote, or let's have something from your mother tongue?
I'll leave a proverb, right? That's fine.
That's fine, but then you definitely.
Of course, I'll leave one proverb that my stepmom kind of like left me with, and my sister would say, when an oracle or when a consultation is being taken out on your behalf, you also do it on your behalf. You also consult the same for yourself in your heart. Meaning simply that when judgment is being passed upon you, or when things are being declared upon your life and saying this and that, you also determine in your heart if those things are true or not. So basically, in other words, nobody can make or break you except you or God. So when people are judging you, you tell yourself, is that true about you or not? If I'm saying you're a thief, in your heart, are you accepting that you're a thief or not? If someone say you are lazy, in your heart, are you lazy or not? So it is what you call yourself that you are. So
that actually sounds very easy, but then I would rather have one of your jokes or something. At least let's have that privilege of hearing it, because a lot of people may not have gone to YouTube where they could always get them or something.
I have skits that have to do with Supreme General, and I'm using those Plim and those R and L's very purposefully because the R and the L in the T thing.
Something.
Yes, for those I know. I'm not going to say much about that, but if you go on YouTube to Village Entertainment, you will find those there. Under King Teso 1.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we have been talking to him, and he told us a little, in as much as I'm trying so very hard to have him say or do something about all those things that, the clips, the funny videos and stuffs that he has. But not to worry, we will get to have the face, which is the most recent of what he has played. We'll have a clip of it just after this break. Don't go away.
She maka lamana maka chilling to your girl. I'm think I'm passing this off something. Let me tell you something. I am a cat, and my back had never touched the ground. They're calling human. Look, now go meat. Boy, yeah. On the moment we are, we call come with girl no nigga wusu. Now that mom will turn, come with us. Unanga me, call nigga me vol. Listen, I got sir. Only for the last time, I have seen yesterday and I'm not afraid of tomorrow.
Oh, my man.
Niaji aka when him tile nga hasha me o.
Otu mo wa gboro. O van fana. O fa kwa am jeba. Ade mo lo kwa. Anyi na. Ono ma ga
kwa ga ya pray kwa no.
Ono ko ko ira.
O pere ona.
Va pe, va nyo e ko ko ira. Pe.
Ono pe
Pe va.
Sa o da wo mo pe kan.
Pe. Be ngi.
I want bia o.
Men naga wo. Nanga me. Me dire wo. Creators of the division ya gwa won number na gere na. So the
Won do ora yi mo.
All right, viewer, I guess we've been having fun with King Teso, and he has told us a lot about the entertainment industry and so much. But King Teso, you forgot a little. The entertainment industry now has a language which is pidgin. So do you have to communicate effectively? Can you do that effectively in the pidgin language?
Absolutely. I speak Pidgin as well.
Okay.
And Tiv and English. Pidgin is not necessarily my genre when it comes to the comedy aspect, but I do speak